Yo, what's up guys, it is Shy, and in today's video I'm just going to be doing a small little thing that isn't really related to much of my content, but that is top 5 field upgrades in Call of Duty. Yes, I know it's not my usual content, but that's fine. I'll be going back to that in a little bit. It's just as of right now, not many of my friends do have Modern Warfare. Anyway, that's not what you're here for, and let's get into the top 5. Coming in at number 5, it is the stopping power round. So what they essentially do is that they give you extra damage, let's say, and it is quite useful, don't get me wrong, it's very useful in some key situations. I feel like it's more towards a sniper's point of view. I could be completely wrong here. I did use it with the M4, which it doesn't need any more damage than it already does, don't get me wrong there, and with the M13, and they had melted anyone that come across them. Now the only problem is that it takes a good chunk of time to get, and if you're dying constantly like I am, and I'm not very good at certain certain maps like the one you're watching right now, it can be annoying once you've finally got your stopping rounds and you're just instantly dead. Anyway, that's not the point of what I'm trying to say. The point is, it is very good if you don't die, let's just say that. So to put it into pros and cons, pros are, it can do a good amount of damage in a short amount of time, and can be very useful in specific situations like clearing a flag or clearing a spawn. Some of the cons are, it does take a good amount of time for it to be available to you, and if you do pop it, you can possibly die with it, and then you have to wait that amount of time again. So it can be tedious, but it can also be a very good addition to what you're doing. So that's why I put the stopping power rounds on number 5. Coming swiftly into number 4 is the attack insert, and if you have been a long time player of the Call of Duty series, you know what attack insert is. So if you don't know what an attack insert is, it is basically a place where you respawn. Like, it's basically like a marker for where you will respawn unless it gets destroyed. Attack insert is where you can respawn, and it's actually pretty good. You can do it anywhere, but essentially you can't obviously get out of the map with it. Maybe you can, I'm not sure. Anyway, it is very good, and every trick shotter or every person that wanted to go for feeds with the sniper used the hell out of it. Even like now, it's still relevant. Even though, as in past games, I haven't seen the attack insert being used as much as it used to be, but I guess that's just got to do with the other ones on this list being better. But anyway, you all know what attack insert is, so I'll just get into the pros and cons anyway. Some of the pros of it is that you can spawn where you want to, you don't have to spawn randomly. As well as you placing it anywhere you want, you can basically get it at any time because there's a really quick recharge rate. And the cons are, people can see it, it's pretty like bright when you go near one that is not yours, so it's very easily to be seen. And it can be destroyed by anyone who stumbles upon it, so I mean it's good and it's bad, but usually in this game for some reason no one picks up on what they are and no one destroys it, so yeah, take it with a grain of salt. Coming in at number 3, Dead Silence. God, that is cringy. Now, you might be wondering, why is this so low on the list and why isn't it not the number 1? Well, Dead Silence has been under a lot of controversy in the past couple of days, well even since its launch, as many pros and many just players in general have been complaining that Dead Silence doesn't really do its job. What it really does, it just makes you run a bit faster. It doesn't really muffle your steps, if you know what I mean. So if you're running through a building or just running in the open, people can still hear your steps. Even though you have activated Dead Silence, people can still hear you. So it could fluctuate in how good it is, but we'll see in the future. That's why I haven't moved it too far up this list. Yes, it's very good. Now, I think, it might be changed, I don't know. It doesn't really matter to me. I don't use sound. I know that might be a completely bad thing, but I'd rather put on some music than listen to gunfire. So anyway, that's just wrong. That's something wrong with me. So anyway, Dead Silence can be very good. I don't know why it's a field upgrade. It should be a perk, but you know, if that's how the game is going to be, we can't do much about it. So, yeah, that's why Dead Silence is dirt. So, into the pros and cons. So some of the pros are that you can obviously run silently. You do have a bit of a movement speed boost as well. And if you kill anyone with any type of lethal weapon, anything to do with killing people, you do get a bit of a replenish of how long that Dead Silence lasts. So if you kill someone and you're just about to lose it, you'll have like a little bit more left. I don't know how much more because I haven't used a Dead Silence perk, because mainly the reasons I said it before, but that's one of the pros anyway. Dead Silence is a bit buggy as of now. It could change in the future, so I wouldn't recommend using it now. You can. I mean, I'm not going to stop you from using what you want to use, but I'm just saying right now it's a bit buggy. It could change, but we'll see. So that is why I have put Dead Silence down here so low. Yeah, it is low, but again, this can all change. So yeah, on to number 2. So in second place, I have chosen Weapon Drop. So you might be wondering why I've put this so high up on the list and why Dead Silence isn't above it. Oh, and excuse the bot gameplay, I do not have the Weapon Drop yet, but I've heard from multiple people that is a pretty good drop. So in all, the Weapon Drop does have more cons than the Dead Silence does, but it's way more useful in the sense, as like right now, like the Weapon Drop is way more useful than Dead Silence as of now. Okay, don't get nasty at me right now, like because I've used it in the bot game, and that, like, yes, when you do use it, it's not a guaranteed chance that you're going to get the better gun you can get out of the drop, which is probably the M4. But it still does give you another gun that you can use, and it will probably give you a pretty good one for that matter as well. Now, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, basically the Weapon Drop is basically like a small little like care package that gives you a random weapon, or you can have a random attachment. I don't think it's random. I haven't tested it enough for it to be like a certain thing that you're going to get that exact attachment. Out of all the games I play with it, these are the weapons that I got out of it. First of all, I got a AK-47, then an M4, an AUG, an LMG, I can't remember the name of it, I think it's an L98 or something. That could be completely wrong. I got a Car 98, and that's all that I did get. I only tried with 2 games because I didn't want to spend all my time playing with bot. So yeah, it does give you an alright gun depending on what you are doing in that certain time. But anyway, let's get into the pros and cons so you don't get angry at me anymore. Here are the pros. You can get a pretty good gun out of it. Second of all, you can get an attachment out of it for your gun if you don't already have one already. Now onto the cons. You don't get the certain gun that you are wanting, you can just get some random LMG or SMG. Second of all, it's basically like a beacon saying where you are, like a care package. It's just basically a little drone that flies to you, so it could give away your position, that's what I'm trying to say. Third of all, you might not get what attachment you are wanting as well. It's basically random. All of it's random, but it still gives you good stuff though. Don't get me wrong, this can be very helpful. I could go into it a bit more, but I don't want to spend more time on the Weapon Drop. So if you don't particularly agree with me, just leave it in the comments, alright? So yeah, on to honourable mentions. So on to the honourable mentions now, and one of them is the trophy system. Yes, it has been in Call of Duty before, and it was alright, don't get me wrong. I just don't know why it is a field upgrade, it should just be a tactical, but anyway, it's there. On to number 2 now, the EMP drone. Now the EMP drone hasn't been used a lot. I have seen it being like used a little bit, and I haven't seen much uses for it, only for like ground war maybe. But yeah, that's where the EMP drone comes in. It's on the mess side of this list. Number 3 is the deployable shield, and yes, it is okay in situations where it is needed for some like cover. But I would put it on the list, but it's just, yeah, the other ones are better in my opinion. On to the last one now, and that would be the recon drone. Yeah, it has its uses, but it's like the EMP drone. I can only see it being used in some situations. So sorry if you do like the recon drone, it's just it didn't make the list. So on to number 1. So to take our number 1 spot, it is the ammunition box. Okay, before you get angry at me for even putting this near number 1, hear me out, alright? Yes, you could look back on the list and say, well, why couldn't that one be up here? Or why couldn't, let's say, Dead Silence, because that's going to be pretty popular, why couldn't that be number 1? Well, I really looked at, like, when I was making this list, how useful that is in the game and what it really does. And for me, the ammunitions box is probably one of the useful ones I've had. And I look back on the list and there's no real ones that stand out to me. Or maybe like the tactical insertion, but that doesn't do much apart from what I said before. Just the ammunitions box, it just helps out you and your teammates, replenishing their ammo and giving them the lethal and tactical grenades back. So I don't see what it can't do wrong here. Yes, it is a massive box and it has a red light on it if you're looking at it from an enemy perspective, and yes, it can be destroyed like that, but if you put it where your team is, it can just help them a lot. That's why I put it this far up the list. Yes, it can be debated, but I'm not getting into it. But anyway, let's get into the pros and cons. So for pros, it can help you by replenishing your ammo and grenades as such, and your teammates. Your teammates can come along and replenish their ammo. It does recharge pretty quickly. I think it's on the medium side of the recharge rate, but it does do pretty well. And yeah, it's pretty solid. The cons are, it is pretty big, and it will be seen by enemies pretty easily and is destroyed pretty easily. But that's it. There's no real other things it does do wrong. Anyway. So that is it for my top 5 so far. Yes, it is all over the place at the moment because there is updates and shit coming in anyway. It doesn't really matter. That's my top 5. If you don't disagree with me, just leave it in the comments. I know it's not my usual stuff, but yeah, I'll be back to it soon. Anyway, it's been Shy, and peace.